before I get into this long list of embarrassing stories about Jonah, I want to send a huge thank you to Susan and Brian, Carol and Mark. This place is incredible. I never thought I would be in a Wes Anderson movie, but this is great. So I've known Jonah as a teammate on the Frisbee field, a colleague at the esteemed Connecticut College, a roommate in Somerville, and a co-worker at Sungage Financial, and as the most incredible friend I could ever imagine having. So I'd like to share some stories about what it's like to know Jonah in these different facets. For those who don't know, Jonah is kind of a big deal in the Frisbee world. I don't remember the exact moment that I met Jonah, but I do remember thinking something like, what makes this guy so special? I would soon find out. On the Frisbee field, Jonah is an absolute phenomenon. In no time at all, the Frisbee team started calling him nicknames like the Messiah, because he's so good at Frisbee, Crab Meat, because we found out there was something called the Jonah crab, and Boot Box, because I will not explain that. Jonah is so good at Frisbee that at one point he broke his right hand going for a catch, taught himself how to play lefty better than I can play, and as a natural lefty, that was really humbling. More than anything, however, to us on the Frisbee team, Jonah was our fearless and valiant leader. Jonah is quick to defend his teammates, quick to give someone a chance to shine. And if you're on the opposing team doing something wrong, Jonah would quickly let you know. He was always cool and collected, even when talking to the police at 2 in the morning after a Frisbee tournament, while wearing a handlebar mustache and an extremely curly mohawk. So off the Frisbee field, Jonah displays these same qualities. He's smart, competitive, talented. He's always willing to give it his all, whether blocking my only sheep field for the 7th turn in the row in Catan, or nearly breaking his tailbone in a game we made up called keg rolling. Looking back at our games of ping pong, Madden, FIFA, squash, I can honestly say that I've never lost to someone so many times in the games in the world, and Jonah, I hope you can say the same about me. But Jonah is also one of the most caring and kind individuals that I've ever known. There have been countless times where one of my friends or myself were having a hard time, and Jonah was there with the perfect advice to make us feel good about ourselves and point us in the right direction. Through and through, Jonah is wise, selfless, and just does things right. Now, I first joined Jonah at Sungage about 5 years ago, but even before I started, Jonah was there before me. He would talk about this girl at work, and I knew from his voice that this was something special. Dramatic pause. When their relationship first started, I had never seen Jonah so excited, and there's just something so wonderful about workplace relationships. Jonah and Libby would try so hard to keep their relationship a secret with varying degrees of success. They would do things like show up at the office at slightly different times. Jonah would wait around the corner for a few minutes after Libby would get in. And they would talk about the coincidence of how they always seemed to take vacation at the exact same time. But my favorite example takes a little bit of explaining. But 4 years ago, Mr. Brian Green was one of the customers of Sungage Financial, a salesperson. And at one point, he used the chat feature on our company's website to ask a question. Jonah took the chat, which was a bold move, I thought at the time. He expertly answered the question, and then Brian said something like, "Thank you for taking care of my girl on vacation." And I had the pleasure of watching Jonah's face turn the deepest purple I had ever seen. And Libby scrambling to get on the phone to say, "Dad, everyone at the company can see those chats." But it's easy to see why the cool and calm and collected Jonah was so flustered in moments like these. Libby is absolutely brilliant. She's beautiful and quietly hilarious. Over the course of their relationship, I've seen Jonah become a happier, more confident, and certainly more fashionable version of himself. So thank you, Libby, for being the perfect match for Jonah and for bringing the best out of my friend. Now I'd like everyone to raise a glass to Jonah and Libby, and the fact that for all his Frisbee prowess, Libby is the best player that Jonah has ever made.